Peace, Kingdom family. Just want to share something with you real quick. The Lord has been saying that we need to be more concerned with publishing His will than trying to get on. The less we're concerned with trying to get on, the more concerned we are with publishing His agenda, His will, getting His word out, His propaganda, the message of the kingdom, publishing the good news. Once we prioritize that, then things will move on our behalf. But many of us are stuck with trying to become great, trying to be known, trying to stand out, trying to be, something extra. But what He wants us to do is to prioritize His agenda, stay humble, keep the faith, and do whatever we can do, use our resources and influences to advance His agenda. And those are the things that's going to move powers and move mountains on our behalf. And we can speak to those things because our motives are right. We just have to check our motives sometimes. Those of us who get on and share. Some people just want to be seen. Some people just want to say something. But it's all about Yeshua, aka Jesus Christ, Yahushua, Yasha, whatever you want to say, you and the Yah family, then I'm with you. But we need to be prioritizing that, and it can be through comedy, it can be through singing, it can be through whatever we want to do. The mechanism or the medium we use, that's not really the point. The main point is that we keep the main objective, that we keep the Great Commission, that we, go into all the world, teaching all nations, teaching the nations to observe what He's commanded. Teaching, not just shouting, not just hollering, not just declaring and decreeing. Nothing wrong with that. But usually when you declare and decree, you're doing that in the atmosphere. You're speaking to the heavenly beings. But when we're teaching, we are bringing the instructions of heaven into a way where it's clear, where it can be understood by the basic person, by the simplest child can understand the message of the kingdom. It's very simple, that He always desired for us to have dominion, have power, have authority to rule in His stead, to colonize the earth, to make the earth an extension of heaven's domain and authority, and to set us up to be vice regents, to be rulers, to be ambassadors, to enculturate or colonize the world, with the influence of heaven, with the rules and the precepts and the principles of heaven. And that the way that is done is through coming into the likeness and image of His dear Son, who was perfect in every way, who was the firstborn of many brethren, who is the Alpha and Omega, who is the living Word, who was manifest in the flesh, so that He could disarm principalities and powers, make an open spectacle of them, so that He would take every ordinance that was written against us, take every law that condemned us, and then prove Himself to be greater than our hearts, greater than the law that was in our hearts, or the laws of nature that governed our bodies, and that He raised us above the law within our hearts of a carnal, corrupt nature, and He raised us above the law that was in nature, and He seated us with Christ in heavenly places so that we could be in a place of authority. Right next to Him, He sits on the seat of mercy. On the mercy seat, His scepter is righteous. He's made a judgment regarding us that we are righteous in Him. And so we put on the mind of Christ. We become as He is in the earth. When we see Him as He is, we'll be like Him. We'll look like Him. He went to prepare a place for us. And so we occupy now until He comes and propagate, spread the message, the good news, that we're no longer slaves to sin. We're no longer slaves to corruption. We're no longer slaves to death. But we are immortal beings, and we have been promised incorruption, immortality, eternity. So those things are all given to us freely given and we freely receive it. By grace we've been saved. It's not of works, because if it's of works, we can boast in that. But it's the gift of God. But we still have to receive the gift by faith. So that's the requirement. That's the work we have to do, the work of faith. And not only to have faith, but to perpetuate the faith and to seed faith. Because faith comes by hearing. So we agree, we've been recruited. We agree, we've enlisted to be those who would seed faith, who would be those who would spread and publish the faith, that we would give people the faith to receive by declaring the word. And we have the authority, we've been licensed to do that because we've been sent. Why do we say we've been sent? We've been sent because we've been saved. And because we've been saved, he has begun the process of preparing us and equipping us to be effective witnesses. We have not only the Spirit who seals us, but the Spirit upon us who has given us the power to be a witness, not just to testify, but to be a living witness of his grace and mercy, that our works and that our life and that our message would testify of his goodness. So, that's the message. That's what we do. And when we prioritize that above ourselves, Christ is glorified. So that's what we do. Kingdom citizens. Grace.